It was supposed to be a quick drive home. The annual fall festival in Cedar Hollow had just wrapped up, and I'd stayed later than planned helping pack up booths. My GPS was dead. I'd forgotten to charge my phone, but I'd driven these roads 100 times before. Or so I thought. Somewhere between the fairgrounds and the highway, I took a left instead of a right. The streetlights thinned out. The familiar houses gave way to stretches of farmland and thick patches of woods. At first, I told myself I wasn't lost. Just a detour, I muttered. But the road narrowed, the pavement cracked, and soon I realized I had no idea where I was. The air was crisp with that late October bite, and the moon hung low over the trees. My old pickup rattled along the uneven asphalt until I saw a sign leaning at an odd angle. Hollow Creek, 3 miles. I'd never heard of Hollow Creek. Still, 3 miles sounded better than aimlessly driving in circles. A light drizzle began, speckling the windshield. The wipers squeaked, and I tightened my grip on the steering wheel, scanning the roadside for signs of life. That's when I saw it, a flicker of light in the distance. The glow came from a small cabin tucked back among the trees. A single porch light illuminated the front steps. My truck's tires crunched over gravel as I pulled into the driveway, hoping to ask for directions. Before I could knock, the door swung open. A man in his mid-30s stood there, wearing a worn flannel shirt and holding a lantern. His eyes widened slightly. "You're not from around here," he said. Got turned around, I admitted. I was trying to get back to Cedar Hollow. He stepped aside. "Come in. Roads get tricky out here at night." Inside, the cabin was warm, smelling faintly of pine and wood smoke. Maps covered one wall, and an old camera sat on the table beside a steaming mug of coffee. "I'm Daniel," he said, setting the lantern down. "I do nature photography for a living. Well, most of the time." I glanced at the maps. "You live out here alone?" He nodded. "Closest neighbor's about 5 miles away. Not everyone's cut out for this kind of quiet." Something about his calm presence made me feel less like an intruder and more like a guest. While Daniel poured me coffee, I noticed a framed photo on the mantel. It was of an old, weathered bridge spanning a creek, surrounded by golden leaves. "That's beautiful," I said. "Where was it taken?" His expression shifted, not quite guarded but thoughtful. "Hollow Creek. The bridge isn't easy to find these days." He didn't elaborate, and I didn't press. But something in the way he spoke told me the place meant more to him than just a photography subject. When I was ready to leave, Daniel grabbed his coat. "I'll drive ahead of you. Roads fork in a few places, and it's easy to end up deeper in the woods." Outside, the drizzle had stopped, leaving the air fresh and cool. As I followed his old Jeep down winding back roads, I realized how easily I could have gotten completely turned around. Before we parted ways, he said, "If you're ever back this way, I could show you the bridge." I smiled. "Maybe I'll take you up on that." A week later, curiosity got the better of me. I drove back toward Hollow Creek on a Saturday morning, this time with a charged phone and an actual map. Daniel seemed surprised, but not unhappy to see me. "I guess you're here for that tour." We hiked through a dense forest, the path winding along a narrow ridge before descending toward the sound of rushing water. When we reached the bridge, I stopped in my tracks. It was even more breathtaking in person. The wood worn smooth with age, the creek below sparkling in the sunlight. Daniel rested a hand on the railing. "My grandfather built this bridge. It connected 2 parts of the property back when my family ran a mill here. After the mill closed, the land was abandoned. Most people forgot about it." "Why not restore it?" I asked. He gave a wry smile. "Takes money. And interest. Not many folks care about preserving something they don't know exists." That stuck with me. Over the next few weeks, I kept thinking about that bridge. I worked at the local newspaper, and I realized I had the means to tell its story. I pitched the idea to my editor. A feature on forgotten landmarks in our county, starting with the Hollow Creek Bridge. When the article ran, complete with Daniel's photographs, the response was overwhelming. People wrote in with memories, old photos, and offers to help restore it. It started with a dozen volunteers. Then a local lumber company donated supplies. A historical society offered funding. By spring, the bridge was fully restored. Not just a relic, but a gathering place. Families picnicked there. Couples took engagement photos. Schools brought students on field trips. Daniel stood beside me at the reopening, the creek rushing below us. "You know," he said quietly, "if you hadn't gotten lost that night," I smiled, "I never would have found this place. Or you. It's been 2 years since the night I got lost. Daniel and I still spend weekends exploring hidden corners of the county, finding stories in forgotten places. That wrong turn gave me more than just a landmark to write about. It gave me a friend, a collaborator, and a reminder that sometimes, the biggest discoveries happen when you're completely off course. And every time I stand on that bridge, I think about how one lost night changed everything.